Hello, everybody. Hopefully I'm not too loud and obnoxious. I'm the Weather Daddy, Cody Wilson, independent meteorologist, Denver Front Range Weather. It's just after 2:30 here on May the 4th. Be with you, 2026. If you can hear me and see me okay, if you would let me know in the comments, that'd be amazing. We'll get started here in a couple of minutes. Obviously, we're going to do a quick sweep of the radar, and as you can see, we've got some sky booms going on, some sparky booms. Okay. Audio's great. Thank you, Braden. I appreciate that. Amy Jo over on the tube of the U's. Good deal. Okay. Obviously, so you guys can see here on the radar image, this is radar scope, an outflow boundary kicked off this pretty gnarly thunderstorm here by Gun Barrel, Erie, Longmont. You guys are probably hearing a lot of thunder right now. Molly Huller, Renee Huller. If you guys can help me out by liking, commenting, and sharing, that would obviously be amazeballs, because for the last couple of years, there's been a content creator program on Meta, the company that owns the Book of Faces, that pays content creators like me for likes, comments, and shares. So that is certainly one way you can help me, the local neighborhood meteorologist, get paid, is just by simply doing what you're already doing anyway. So thank you. Corey and Estes, holler. Caroline, do you get money if we comment? I sure do. Jody can see me and good audio. Excellent. Severance, Donna, holler. Tevin in Masonville, heller. Justin King in South Dakota. Kimberly commenting and sharing. Fantastic. I have so much to talk about. I am going to record this in its entirety, and I will post it on the page after we're done. So if you need to go back and reference this later, you can certainly do that. Patrick Archibald. So my mom's maiden name is Archibald. Small world. Alexandra down in Palmer Lake. Hello. Kelly, hello. Michaela commenting to make it rain. It will help, trust me. There are a lot of things that are different about this setup, and obviously by the way I've been pushing out information and have been talking, my confidence is a lot higher with this storm than it was the last storm. There are some very, very stark differences in this setup compared to the last one, and if you guys have followed me long enough, you knew I was uncertain from the get-go with the last setup. That is not the case with this one, and I will show you why here, however long this takes. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, but generally these videos typically go between 30 and 45 minutes. So I understand if it can't stay the whole time, it's okay. But again, I will record this in its entirety and I will post it on the Book of Faces when we're done. Skeeter, feeling neuro something today. Same, girl, same. Holly in Loveland, Darlene, southwest corner of Denver, holler. Kelly Kilpatrick, hi. Amanda out here earning me some dollars, unsung heroes. Vicky out in Nebraska, holler. Nikki, Monument, the Christmas stocking. Oh yeah, that bad boy's been up for like 2 years. It's never coming down. That is a staple in my household, as well as my helmet. This is the damn helmet. I'm hoping to have these listed for sale soon. Neil Shelton, one of my sponsors, is an insurance broker down in Denver. He made this for me, the MASH helmet. It says damn helmet on the side, and then on the front it says, I can get it in front of the camera. There it is, Cody the Weather Guy. So I love it. Maybe I should wear it. Hold on a second. Oh, this might screw. It doesn't quite work, does it? Hold on a second. Oh, dear. Oh, this is going to end up on TMZ. Hold on. We're going to get this. Hold on. Oh, dear. Help me, Tom Cruise. Help me, Oprah. Damn it. Okay, well. Okay, we are spending way too much time trying to figure out the damn helmet. Okay. Okay, technical difficulties averted. Okay, there's over 600 of you on here. That's amazing. Okay, I want to respect your time, so let's get started. This is the hell was I going to say? Radar scope. That's it. So this is the radar that I like to use, guys, to give me a sweep of what's going on across the region. And as you can zoom out, you see there's showers and thunderstorms increasing here in the central and northern mountains. There's a lot of lightning strikes by Steamboat up here in Saratoga, Grand Encampment. This will be up in the Medicine Bows and the Laramie Range in southeast Wyoming. And then, of course, getting into Laramie, Cheyenne. But obviously, the strongest cell right now by far is impacting areas where people have told me recently that it never rains. So, liars! All right, so good thunderstorm here. Niwot, Gun Barrel, Erie, Frederick. You're probably hearing a lot of thunder and seeing some lightning. So this trend is going to continue with the cold front over the next several hours. And of course, I pushed out that post earlier warning you barometric pressure besties. I know you're very, very sensitive and you're probably feeling it pretty good right now. So the pressure, it has been dropping because of this front. And then the excitement's really going to get going here on Tuesday and Wednesday. So let me pull that up here right quick. I know you guys have a lot of questions. Hopefully I can get to some of them. And if I am going to answer your question here later on, I'm certainly going to do that, or at least tell you that I'm going to. Tiffany, are we actually going to get snow in Greeley? Yes, we are, and probably a lot of it. So you're going to see here in just a second. Actually, I can do something here that might. Oh, here we go. So if I click on this, it actually shows the questions. I love how cool is technology. So Tiffany, I just made you famous. You're welcome. Are we actually going to get snow in Greeley? Yes, we are. We're going to get rain. If all of this fell as rain, actually Greeley might get between 1.5 and 2 inches of rain, but it's not going to all fall as rain. It's going to all change to snow at some point on Tuesday, going overnight and into the day on Wednesday. Elizabeth, how much snow should Bennett and Lyman be getting? The answer is yes. I'll show you how much we're expecting. Oh dear. Technical difficulties, stand by. Okay. And I'll show you how much we're going to be getting here based on what the forecast models are showing here over the last 6 hours. Aaliyah Resto, I love that name because it rhymes with pesto. Any hail forecasted, and I love pesto. Any hail forecasted. So locals understand this. If you're new to Colorado and this is your first spring here, you can experience all 4 seasons in one day. But even more than that, when we get thunderstorms here because of our elevation and because updrafts don't have to travel as far to get into the parts of the troposphere where temperatures are well below freezing. Yeah, believe it or not, even in July, if you're up at cruising altitude with commercial aircraft, temperatures are still below zero up there, and that's why we form hail. And the strength of the updraft determines how big the hailstones get before gravity takes over and it pew falls back down to the ground. So what you need to understand is with all thunderstorms in Colorado, any of them can produce hail at any time. It really is just a matter of how big are the hailstones going to get. Am I forecasting anything severe today? No. Could some of these produce hail? Yes. Okay, maybe another question or two. Are shovels needed in Tinmouth? That's a strong possibility. Very strong possibility. More live streams, Tim said. I'm working on it. I'm battling some algorithm issues with the Book of Faces, and I figured one way to do it is live stream. So Marcy's wondering about Fort Collins and Loveland. I'm getting to it. Be patient, my little biscuits. I'm getting to it. This is a good question. Rob, do you expect the watch will turn into a warning? So I don't deal with the National Weather Service. I don't communicate with them. I wish they would communicate with me, but mainly the only time they ever talk to me is when they're poaching information and reports off of my page from you guys. Here's what I will say about their watches, advisories, and warnings. They have to meet certain criteria in order for a watch or a warning to be issued, and that is based on their forecast. My forecast may not be the same as theirs. If I had to guess, I would say the current winter storm watches that are in place will probably can be converted to warnings either tonight or by Tuesday morning. So what's Calhan going to get? Stacy says, yes, you're going to get yes. Can I tell Mother Nature to stop? Messiah is above my pay grade. Sorry. How am I going to spend my new dollar? Energy drinks, baby. Give me just a second. Ooh, helmet, stay on my head. Okay. So let's get to the meat and taters of the forecast, okay? Stop screen, and I'm going to share the forecast model data, and then we'll get into rain, we'll get into snow, we'll get into all of this. See, look at all that damn blue. This is the RRFS and the NAM that literally is coming in right now as we speak. So I hope you guys can see that okay. Maybe I can zoom in just a tad bit. That ain't happening. Okay. So as I loop this forward, you can see on this high resolution forecast model that with the lift and instability being created with the cold front, scattered showers and thunderstorms practically all over the place. Okay, they're most numerous here along and north of I-70, obviously. Widely scattered here south of I-70. So some of you may be able to get some rain and maybe hear some claps of thunder here this afternoon and evening, but the majority of the activity is going to be where the greatest lift and instability are located, at least for now, and that is going to be across the northern half of our region, okay? As I loop this forward going into this evening, what I want to point your attention, holy shnikes, oh, sorry about that. As we head into, okay, this is about 8 o'clock. So showers are eventually going to make it into Nebraska, here around McCook, getting into western Kansas. But what I want to point your attention to is the darker shades of blue. As the snow levels slowly drop tonight and going into Tuesday morning, we're going to see scattered snow showers in the central and northern mountains as well as the foothills. And this will slowly expand in coverage and become pretty widespread during the day on Tuesday. And as I continue to loop this forward, that's going to become very evident. Tuesday morning, that's Tuesday afternoon. As you can see, along and north of I-70, precipitation is pretty widespread. It includes the Northwest Plateau, not quite into Grand Junction in the western slope yet, the northern mountains, the I-80 corridor, where rain has already changed over to snow, maybe later Tuesday afternoon from about Sydney west through Kimball to Cheyenne, going over the summit into Laramie. Rawlins, I-80 is probably going to be a crapshoot starting Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night. But notice there's a pretty fine line of delineation, if you will. So as you travel further north away from I-80 into other portions of the Panhandle and into the eastern portions of Wyoming, I think the precipitation amounts will go down. So the easiest way I can describe this is if you want a corridor or a target where I believe the highest amount of precipitation is going to fall, it is going to be between I-80 and I-70. Pretty simple. If you want the highest rain and snowfall amounts with this particular storm, it is going to fall between I-80 and I-70. Simple. But when it comes to discussing the exact amounts, especially with snow, that's where things get a bit more Courtney Love complicated. Let's get into Tuesday night. So Tuesday, as things start to change over to wet snow, and that's what the blue is, by Tuesday evening, even here in Fort Collins, Greeley, Loveland, getting down into the Denver metro onto the Palmer Divide, northern portions of El Paso County, we've already changed over to wet snow by that point. These darker areas of yellow and orange, that's convection. Those are thunderstorms. So Tuesday evening into Tuesday night, if you're along the Highway 50 corridor, so Los Animas, La Junta, Lamar, getting down into Springfield, here into Southwest Kansas, Garden City, Liberal, I would be prepared for the possibility of a few strong thunderstorms Tuesday night before the parent storm system moves in overnight into the day on Wednesday, okay? So some of those could contain hail, they could contain gusty winds, and if they do go severe, there is enough of a directional wind shear component in the atmosphere that we could spin up a brief danger noodle. So I'm not expecting severe, but they could be on the threshold of severe. And that means winds of at least 58 miles per hour or greater. It's producing hail at least an inch in diameter, which is quarter size. And then, of course, if radar indicates that there is rotation or someone has confirmed a tornado or a danger noodle on the ground, that would constitute a thunderstorm being severe. Okay. So this is going overnight Tuesday. Okay. So this is at about 10 p.m. And as we go overnight, look at all that blue. Uh-oh. I think you guys just lost my audio. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Uh-oh. Oh, you guys can still hear me? My headphones just went completely bonkers, and there's usually like a small return or an echo in my headset, and it disappeared. So I thought I lost you guys for a second. I'm sorry. Now there's like 94 million comments that you guys can hear me. Yay! Okay, never lost it. We're good. Thanks, Colleen. Appreciate that. Okay, so as you can see, going overnight and into Wednesday, there is a lot of blue on this map. Yeah, Renee said, don't say anything crazy. I'm really, really glad I didn't. Okay, so as we go overnight Tuesday and into Wednesday, there's a lot of blue on this map. And that's because what we have with this storm, with this setup that we didn't have with the last storm, is a lot of cold air, a lot more upslope, and the storm and the cold front have actually phased together, and you're seeing that transpire here in the forecast models, and it's a beautiful thing to see because there was a lot more uncertainty with the last setup. The forecast models were kind of all over the place. Some had them phasing together, some of them didn't. Some of you got rain, some of you did not. Obviously, there were parts of my forecast that weren't right, but there's a lot more forecast model consensus this round than there was last time, which is why the forecast confidence is much, much higher. And so we're going to have widespread areas of wet snow falling overnight and into the day on Wednesday. And this is mid-Wednesday morning, and we've still got widespread snow from the I-80 corridor all the way down to Trinidad. So this is going to include the Donut Hole in Pueblo County. Rain will eventually change over to snow by Wednesday morning along the Highway 50 corridor. And this could extend as far west as the San Juans, okay? As far as precipitation on the western slope is concerned, you can see obviously that it's much more scattered and not as widespread and consistent. But I think Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday morning, you'll get a decent amount of rain and snow there on the mesa and going over onto the western slope, okay? But this is by Tuesday. This is by Wednesday afternoon. It's still going to be snowing. So that's according to the latest data that's just coming in. So now let's get into the juicy details and talk about rain and snowfall. Let's go down here. I'm going to do rain first. I know you guys just went, ugh. But let's do total precipitation. So let's assume all of this falls as rain, okay? That's Greeley right there. According to the NAM, the North American model, if all of this fell as rain, that is 2.1 inches of rain in Greeley between now and Wednesday afternoon. Get down here into the Denver metro, anywhere from 1.2 inches in Aurora to 1.4 at the airport, 1.4 in Boulder, even going up onto the Cheyenne Ridge. Cheyenne, you're at 1.8. You're at an inch in Laramie. You're at 1.6 in Kimball. Hell, even out here in Akron along Highway 34, you're at 1.9. This is a lot of water. I hope you guys are excited about this because you've been bitching at me for the last 7 months. It's not raining. Here it is. Excuse me. Okay. Aubrey, do you still have Christmas decorations up? What's up with the stocking behind you? All right, so this is for the newbies. When I used to live in my old place before I bought my house, I accidentally left a Christmas stocking up on the wall behind me. And every time I would do a live video like this, most of the comments that would show up on my videos were the question you just asked me. Why is your stocking still up? And it eventually became a running joke. And now every time I do live videos, if the stocking is not in my video, people have a conniption fit. It's just part of my personality. It's my neurospicy brain. It's the reason why I intentionally mispronounce and misspell words. This is Cody on full display. I do things, I say things that bring me joy, regardless of what people say or think about me. So that's the long answer to that question. Why are my decorations still up? Because they can be. Because that's Cody in a nutshell. It's the same reason why I have this damn helmet on. Okay. Great question. All right, let's get back to this. So obviously, if we're doing a probabilistic forecast and not a deterministic, we're going to have a range here. So we're even going to get some beneficial moisture, I think, down here into southern Colorado. It was looking like that may not be a possibility late last night, but early this morning, that shift started to occur pretty dramatically, and there's a lot more model consensus than there was just 24 hours ago. So I think you're going to get some beneficial rain and snow even down here into southern Colorado. It's just going to take a little while for the colder air to get to you guys along Highway 50 and going down under the Raton Mesa. So you may not actually see rain change over to wet snow until the early hours on Wednesday. So a ton of incredible water that's coming, and the ground's going to soak up all of this. This is going to be fantastic. Now, here's the complicated part of the forecast. What's the snowfall possibility? Here's something I want you to keep in mind. This is very, very important. Under typical conditions, there's a lot of math involved. But at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 inch of rain is the equivalent of 10 inches of snow. I'll say that again. At 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 inch of rain equals 10 inches of snow. The colder you get, the higher that ratio gets. So at 12 degrees Fahrenheit, that same 1 inch of rain will produce 20 inches of snow. Obviously, this is not going to be a cold storm. This is going to be a pretty warm storm. So we may not have snowfall ratios at 10-1. They might actually be closer to 8 or 9-1. So the NAM is assuming a 10-1 snowfall ratio here. There's something else we have to take into consideration here. It's May, not December. We have a higher sun angle, so quite a bit of this might actually melt before it hits the ground. But let's assume a crazy worst case scenario. If the NAM were to verify, that's a 14, excuse me, in Greeley. That's an 18 in Fort Collins. That's an 11 in Boulder. That's a 12 at the airport. That's a 7-9 in southeast Denver. It's 6-12 here on the divide. A foot or more here in portions of Park and Teller County. We're even getting into the 3 to 7 inch range here in southern and southeast Colorado. Obviously, you're in the 8 to 12 inch range up here on the Cheyenne Ridge and in the far western portions of the Nebraska Panhandle. Obviously, the further north and east you travel away from I-80, those precipitation amounts are going to go down. But I know this is a joke and it's funny, but really what I need you guys to think about here is it's going to rain, okay? No question about it. It's going to snow. There's no question about it. The question I can't answer yet is how much of this is going to fall as snow and how much is going to melt before it actually starts accumulating. We know that the highest snowfall probability is probably going to be here in the mountains. Let's just go to the RRFS, which is another model I like to use just to see what it's showing, because I don't like to get tunnel vision with one particular model. I like to use all of them. And let's just see what the RRFS is saying. Any more questions? Whatever we can get is great. Absolutely right. Positive mental attitude. I-70 corridor, I hope what I just talked about answered your question. If not, can you be more specific? Morrison, yeah, you're in the Denver Metro. You're definitely getting something. Does this clear out by Friday? Yeah, actually, this clears out by Wednesday night because on Thursday, we're going to be back in the 60s and 70s. But speaking of Thursday, Thursday morning, we're going to start off in the teens and 20s. So if you have sensitive plants and vegetation, you better bring them inside or you better cover them up. So you've been warned. And I will obviously update you guys again and remind you in my forecast update tomorrow morning, or at least I'll try to. So it looks like the RRFS is taking a little bit more of the lower snowfall ratio into consideration here. So there is a bullseye of 2 to 3 feet of snow here in the higher elevations of, it looks like Boulder County and Larimer County. So probably above 8,000 feet. So Rocky Mountain National Park, you're going to get nailed. Long's Peak, you're going to get nailed. Foothills, so Red Feather Lakes, Estes Park, getting down into Boulder County, so probably Nederland, Central City, Black Hawk, going further south. So Evergreen, Conifer, Bailey, if you're in the foothills above 7,000 feet, pretty good chance you're going to get over a foot of heavy, wet, heart attack snur with this. So it's going to cause power outages. It's going to knock down tree branches. It's going to knock down power lines. It's going to be a mess. So find your damn helmets. Obviously, there's a bullseye of maybe 7 to 14 inches here on the Palmer Divide. For the Denver Metro itself, in the 3 to 8 inch range, perhaps. If you're across the northern Front Range, so Larimer and Weld County, Fort Collins, Loveland, Greeley, it's going to be a tough call because I don't know how much of this snow is actually going to accumulate. But this morning I had 1 to 5, and there's a decent probability that some isolated locations, especially closer to the foothills, could get more than that. So, and then it looks like some decent chances for accumulation down here in the wets and the Sangre de Cristos. You poor peoples in the San Luis Valley. It's one of the driest places in the country, but you should be able to get at least some precipitation out of this. And then let's see if some additional forecast model data came in. You should be able to get some rain and snow out of this, obviously in far southern and southeast Colorado. If we go back to 12Z, the numbers there are pretty similar. They're not the same, but they're similar. And then if we go back to rain amounts, again, total precipitation, if we assume that all of this falls as rain, yeah, that's a lot. I don't know what's going on down here in Pueblo. Y'all need to calm down. Widespread areas of 1 to 1.5 inches, could get over 2 inches. I mean, the RRFS is showing that Fort Collins could be approaching 3 inches. That's insane to me. So here's the point I want you to get out of this. There's a lot of precipitation coming. It's in the form of scattered showers right now, but it's going to become more widespread as we head into the day on Tuesday. Obviously, the highest confidence for heavy snow is going to be in the mountains and in the foothills west of I-25 initially. We could transition to snow pretty quickly up on the Cheyenne Ridge above 6,000 feet around Cheyenne. But I think it'll take a while. We could mix in with some wet snow or rain snow mix down here at lower elevations during the day on Tuesday. And then sometime Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night, this will all switch over to snow as the main trough of low pressure moves overhead. And then we're looking at 12 to 18 hours of moderate to heavy snowfall going overnight Tuesday and into the day on Wednesday, and there is potential for enough accumulation here at lower elevations to cause power outages and knock down tree branches. And this may also have some impacts on the Wednesday morning commute. So it's a lot of information to cover. Obviously, I'm vomiting a bunch of information on you, and obviously I can't get to everybody. But as you can see here on the radar, we've got a lot going on already. There's a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity. Jason just told me that he heard thunder in the spring. So we're getting there. we're getting there. It's taken a long time for us to finally get a good storm like this, but we made it, guys. We made it. We're here. And now we're going to let Mother Nature apologize and run her course and try to make up for the last 7 months that we got screwed over. So, I'll answer a couple more questions and then we're done. And then I'll just continue to post updates on the book face, because that's one way I add value to you guys. In addition to forecast updates, as I do now casting. So I update in real time throughout the duration of the storm. That's one of the reasons why I started my page, because people don't like waiting till 5, 6, or 10 to watch the newscast to get a watered down 2.5-minute version of the forecast. They want the information I provide and they want it right now. So that's why I'm here. Tim says, I use terms like Palmer Divide and Front Range, and he's fairly new. Welcome to the area, Tim. Colorado Springs is right here. It's in El Paso County. So you'll often hear me refer to the Rampart Range, which is where Long's Peak is at, west of Colorado Springs, the Manitou Incline. But there's such unique topography here in El Paso County. Here in southern Douglas County and northern El Paso County, that's the southern edge of the Palmer Divide, where you drop off the Palmer Divide from Monument down into Colorado Springs. That elevation change could mean the difference between rain and snow. And that's why it's really, really important that you guys learn your geographical locations and the names of the regions that I give to you, because I wish I could call out all 273 cities by name. I just don't have the time. But good question. So Palmer Divide is the elevated terrain between Denver and Colorado Springs that sits right here. Right here. Castle Rock, Larkspur, Palmer Lake. It's awesome. It's a great time. It's my money and I need it now. Low temps. Well, to get snow, you need to be near or below freezing, right? So Tuesday night into Wednesday, I think, is when we'll start getting to or below freezing. We'll probably hover near or just above freezing during the day on Wednesday. And then when the storm clears out and the temperatures drop due to radiational cooling, many of you will be in the teens and 20s when you wake up Thursday morning. So that's where we're at. That is where we're at. Okay. All right, we've already been on here long enough. We're going on 33 minutes. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your time. I'm excited for this storm and what it's going to bring. Your guys' updates obviously are amazing. Continue to send those in. Remember, I am just one man. So be patient with me and show me some grace. You guys be safe. Remember, use your legs when you're shoveling. Don't use your back, and please don't have a heart attack. Please. And we'll see what happens on the other side when this thing's out of here by Wednesday night. So you guys take care. Don't be dum-dums. We'll talk again soon. Okay, great. Thanks. Bye.